Oh, look at this angelic creation.
Hey, what's up, Eat Squad? Today I'm going to show you how to make the best homemade sweet potato pie, completely from scratch, from the filling to the crust and to even the whipped cream on top. The filling is absolutely rich and smooth, the crust is perfectly buttery and flaky, it's perfect for the fall and even the holiday season, and I can't wait to share it with you. Let's get it. First, let's start with the crust. I've got some all-purpose flour here. To this, I'm going to add in some sugar, a little bit of salt, and some cold butter. You just want to work this together into a dough. If you need some water to help bring this dough together, go ahead and use some cold water. We want to keep everything in the crust cold because that's going to result in a flakier, lighter, and puffier crust with delicious air pockets. You can also use a food processor here. It works great, but if you don't have one, your good old hands are the next best thing. You just want to bring the dough together and make sure to not over knead because that's what's going to trigger gluten production and it's going to make your dough tough and chewy. That's great for some breads, but that is not what we're going for here in the pie crust. We just want it to combine together and just come into a soft ball. Once it comes into a ball here, I'm just going to wrap this up and let it chill in the fridge for about a couple of hours or until the butter and the dough gets really cold. You can also just shape this into a crust and freeze it in the pie pan ahead of time. For our pie filling now, I'm going to start with some butter at room temperature, some brown sugar, and some white sugar. And I'm just going to cream this with the sugar. What we want is for each sugar crystal to be coated with butter, so when it bakes, it leads to awesome caramelization on a crystal level, which yields great flavor. To this, I'm going to add in 2 eggs, vanilla extract, some milk, a little bit of cinnamon, some ginger powder, and freshly grated nutmeg. Using the freshest spices really helps bring out more flavor and helps the pie filling pop. If you want the exact measurements, check out the description box below. I'll write out a full-length recipe so you can make this delicious pie at home. And while you're down there, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you can keep seeing delicious recipes. These air pockets are a great sign. It means that we've whipped air into the pie filling, which means that it's going to be light and airy. To this, I'm going to add in our sweet potatoes that I've boiled to fork tender. The skin comes off super easily and we're just going to puree this all together. If the sweet potatoes aren't breaking down, you can certainly just run this through a blender into a fine puree. Alright, so I'm going to start rolling out our pie crust here. I want the dough to be about 1/8 of an inch thick and then the diameter to be 9 inches or the size of your pie pan. I've got a pie pan here that I've chilled in the freezer to just keep everything cold, and I'm going to lay the dough on our pie pan and then trim off the excess and start adding in our filling. And I'm just going to crimp the edges of the pie crust into a nice pleat like so. And how you want to do this is just use the width of your finger for spacing and lift up the dough and pinch. And just work your way around the pie doing so. It doesn't need to be perfect, it's homemade. Imperfection is part of the charm. It just needs to be made with love. This looks beautiful. Into the oven it goes at 350 for about 40 minutes or until the center is set. While our pie is baking, I'm just going to quickly whip up some whipped cream. I've got some heavy cream here. To this, I'm going to add in some powdered sugar, and I'm just going to whisk and whip this together until I see some thick peaks. And there you have it, folks. Homemade sweet potato pie.